Well, there you go, the Psychedelic Furs with All That Money Wants here on That Modern Rock Show. And yes, our mystery guest tonight is Richard Butler. You know, we've had a lot of people on the show. We had Robin Hitchcock last week. Brian Wilson's been on the show. But for me and for the audience, this is just a thrill because when I think of alternative music or post-punk or modern rock or whatever they're calling it this year, I think of your voice.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm flattered.
But I also want to tell you that, you know, I play the Psychedelic Furs constantly on this show. Any excuse, you know, I'll come on and say, and now my favorite Christmas carol, Into You Like a Train, you know. So we're thrilled that you're actually going to be in our area on the 13th, next Saturday.
Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a beautiful theater, the Wellmont Theater. Have you ever played there before?
I haven't.
Oh, I think you're going to enjoy yourself.
Oh, good.
Very, very nice gig. And before we talk about the Furs here, I do want to mention your fine solo album from a few years ago.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're playing a couple of songs from that.
Good Days, Bad Days, perhaps, maybe? Or
no, we were just rehearsing California.
Ah, track 2.
Oh, yes.
Is there any chance of another, maybe a Furs record, but another solo record? Because I'll tell you what. I really liked the solo record because we got kind of a different way of singing for you. You know, you did some things in falsetto and stuff that was pretty interesting and maybe not what we're accustomed to.
I did a little bit of falsetto on with Love Spit Love, but not as much as I'd like to have tried. And the thing about the solo record was that it was so sung so quietly that I found it a lot easier to sing a falsetto, and it seemed a lot more natural to sing it with that music. Having said that, the next record I'm making is a Psychedelic Furs record. So.
All right! I'm going to have new stuff to play. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's been so long.
Well, you know, as you mentioned with Love Spit Love, you know, after the breakup, or what do you want to call it, hiatus of Psychedelic Furs?
Hiatus sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds good. But, you know, you had great success with Love Spit Love, and, of course, one of the greatest songs ever written, I think, Am I Wrong? And what was the decision to reform the group?
Around 2000, I think. Our then agent said, would you like to do these dates? And it was just when I'd been thinking about doing some dates. So he said, would you like to do these dates with the B-52s? And I kind of thought, yeah, that sounds like a nice idea. I miss playing those songs. So we did that, and ever since then, we've been doing, you know, bits and pieces here and there. And then I told my manager that I wanted to do a bit more this year. So we're going to be doing a good deal of touring this year. We're going to be touring America in the fall, and doing these dates. You know.
And when someone goes to this show, obviously you're going to hear, like you mentioned, some of the songs from your solo record, which is great to hear. And obviously we're going to get the songs that we all know and love from the Psychedelic Furs. And what are your feelings when you come out and play these songs? And, you know, I mentioned once again the iconic sound of your voice, which is, you know, your voice is like, I hear it and I go, oh, my youth. That's the sound of my youth speaking to me. But when you come out and play these songs that now are timeless, you know, a song like Until She Comes, or I could just rattle off all your you know, singles that people, All That Money Wants. I mean, all these songs are kind of timeless now. I mean, is it a case where you feel the need to kind of change them up and make them different live, or do you?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
You know, very occasionally we might extend a little bit of one song, or, you know, because we have Mars Williams with us, who played with us, you know, throughout the majority of the 80s, and, you know, it's nice to give him a bit of breathing room to play sax every now and then. But besides that, I don't feel the need to change them up that badly. If we'd been playing them constantly for the last, you know, 20 years, I probably would be bored out of my mind. But having taken the break that we did take, I'm quite excited to be singing them all again. So no, I don't feel the need to change them up that badly. No, I hate nothing more than when I go and see somebody that I love and that they change the songs so drastically that they're barely recognizable. I kind of feel saddened somewhat. Yeah.
Well, getting back to your voice again, when you were getting into music, was there a specific singer or maybe a bunch of singers that you listened to and you said, oh, I'll use that?
Well, I guess when I was a kid, my dad was listening to Bob Dylan all the time when I was a little kid, and then when I got a bit older, I was listening to Roxy Music and Led Zeppelin and David Bowie. I mean, all the usual suspects. I've been compared a lot to David Bowie, but I think that's just because I'm from south of London, you know.
Right.
Can't help it, really.
Well, you've got a huskiness to your voice, you know. That's like a little different.
It's funny that I've had a lot of comments about, you know, smoking too many cigarettes over the years, but it's not down to that at all. I don't know what it's down to, but it's certainly not that.
Well, you also appear on other people's records. We had Juliana Hatfield on the show not too long ago, and you had sung with her on a track from her album.
Yes, she asked me to do it, and I did some vocals for Sponge a while back. Every now and then I'll do something for somebody else. Just as a favor, really.
So, in other words, I could tell my audience that, you know, the number's in the book. Call up Richard Butler, and he will sing your record.
I don't know about that.
Well, I want to briefly get into, you know, the beginnings of the Psychedelic Furs, because the band did come out of the punk rock scene, and the band formed in '77, right?
I don't know whether you'd say formed in '77. We certainly started with the idea of having a band around then, because that's when, you know, the Sex Pistols and the Clash came out, and it suddenly became a reality to be in a band. You know, I mean, before that, it was, you know, all the musicians that we looked to that were English were, you know, pretty much accomplished musicians, and really talking about nothing that we cared about very much, you know, and then when punk rock came along, it changed everything around, and you could get 3 chords and vent your feelings, and you didn't have to be a muso, you know. So it gave us an opportunity to get in and you know, be taken, you know, seriously, or at least listened to, you know, and certainly signed by a record company. The poor record companies were so confused at that point that they didn't know what was going on.
Well, one of the great things I like about you know, the Psychedelic Furs music is there's always an air of melancholy to a lot of your material, and I don't know if that's maybe the group creating a kind of atmosphere with some of the songs. I mean, some of the songs are very uplifting and some are inspiring, but do you feel as an artist that when something negative happens in your life that you can channel it through your music and do something creative with it, and that helps you get through that situation?
Not that consciously, no. It just feels like there's a certain space musically when the music's sounding a certain way. I feel inspired to write lyrics to it. It's not like you know, anybody in the band presents me with a piece of music and says, "There you go, write your lyrics." It's like we all create the music together, and if it's not inspiring me to write or come up with a melody, then I don't really work with it. So it has to be something that we start playing and we organize it until it hits a certain chord in me that makes me start coming up with melodies and start singing, and then that's when we're onto something. But you know, before that, it's just a piece of music.
Well, I want to tell you that I'm going to use this interview as an excuse to just play a lot of Psychedelic Furs music on the show, because it's my favorite thing to listen to. And I do want to mention to everybody out there that the 13th, which is next Saturday, make sure you see the Psychedelic Furs at the Wellmont Theater. And Richard, I have to ask you this question, and it might be sort of a goofy question, but I'm a goofy guy. So here it is. You know, in Love Spit Love, you wound up recording a cover of How Soon Is Now by the Smiths. Did you have any idea that years later, this song would be heard 10 times a day in truncated form on television?
No, I had no idea at all. It was the strangest thing, because I was asked to do it by a producer who was producing the music for the song for the movie The Craft, I believe it was. And he said, would you like to do a cover of the Smiths, How Soon Is Now? And I said, well, I love the song, and I'll give it a go, but it's very difficult to do better than the Smiths did, you know? I mean, it's kind of, it's their statement, and so beautifully done that I was a bit, you know, it's very difficult doing somebody else's songs. And I said, you know, I'll give it a go, but, you know, I must say I'm a big fan of the Smiths version. And I did it, but not knowing that it would, you know, that this show Charmed would come out or whatever. Is that what it was called, Charmed?
Yeah, it is.
And that would come out and it would be on every day. It the strangest thing.
Well, I hope at the very least they give you a free DVD out of the deal. You know. But getting back to the Psychedelic Furs, what would be your favorite song to perform live that you do in the current show?
Oh goodness, that would be tough. We started playing a couple that we haven't done for a long, long time. We were just playing Like a Stranger from Mirror Moves, and that sounded really good, and I was very pleased to be doing that. And, we haven't played that song in, God, since it came out, I don't think. So, that was a lot of fun. But they're all kind of fun to do. Ghosty is a lovely song to play.
Sure. Speaking of which, we had Robin Hitchcock on last week, and he recorded a nice acoustic version of that as a B-side many years, well, sometime in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ought to check that out.
Is it any good?
It's good. It's not as good as the Furs version, but it's very good. And he might owe you a check. Who knows? But well, Richard, this has been great talking to you, and we're so excited.
Are you going to come down to the show?
Well, here's the thing. My show I'm going to be on the air next Saturday night. So, I'm telling my audience now, do not listen to my show. It's not worth it. Just go see the Psychedelic Furs. Believe me, you're going to have a much better time. I would love to go. You got it. Next time you come around, just play on a Friday, and then I can go.
Oh, it's a shame to hear that.
Well, listen. If you're going to be continuing touring, I'm going to go see you. I will definitely be there.
I think at the moment we're planning a tour in the fall with Happy Mondays opening for us. So we'll probably be doing Jones Beach or something like that.
Perfect. And where can people go to find out all the information about an upcoming tour? The official Psychedelic Furs website?
There isn't an official one. There's an unofficial one called burndowndays.com that has normally has an area with tour dates on it.
So the fans are kind of putting all the information up online.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, let them work. Why not? Sure. Well, thank you, Richard, and good luck with the show.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
So thank you, and you have a great night.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.